Congressman Khanna of California has been listening to Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, but just popped out for Squawk Box. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. It's been a long night.
It's been a long night. You're on the losing end of this situation. What do you think the implication is here?
There are two major problems I have with the bill. One that Larry Summers and Bob Rubin pointed out. This bill is going to add $4 trillion to the national debt, and it's going to take deficits to 8% of GDP, almost unprecedented in peacetime when there's no external shock like COVID or the Great Recession. And the second is the distribution. I mean, even Bush's tax cuts and Trump's tax cuts helped everyone. They disproportionately helped the rich, but they gave a break to everyone. These tax breaks actually make poorer working class Americans poorer while giving the rich tax breaks. They take away Medicaid, they take away food assistance, and that's pretty unprecedented in modern history.
We talked to a congressman on the Republican side of things who actually had a negative view of this bill last night and a positive view of it this morning. And one of the things he said was that he got assurances effectively from President Trump that certain parts of the bill may be slow walked or other things might happen as it relates to a whole number of things. Have you heard that in terms of those holdouts who've come along, why they've come across?
Well, one, they don't want a $20 million super PAC coming after them in a primary. I mean, look at what happened to Thomas Massie when he spoke out against the Iran strikes and the War Powers Resolution. So Donald Trump has a lot of power in the Republican Party. But on the substantive thing, I've been told that they've been promised future reconciliations that are going to make more cuts. The question is, though, how are they going to pay for them? The reality is you have to raise taxes on the wealthy. You can't be cutting taxes on the wealthy if you want to do anything to lower the deficits. It's not just me. That's what Rubin and Summers say. That's what economists who look at the math say. And so they're being promised future reconciliation packages to cut the deficit, but it's unclear where those cuts are going to come from if they're not willing to increase taxes on the wealthy.
Congressman, I want you to weigh in on this. We've been watching the bond market, which you would think would not like a bill like this. Just the conventional wisdom would be that. The market is not moving. It is not. The bond market is not acting in a way that's suggestive that they have a problem with this bill. Now, on the other side of it, we talked to Steve Leisman recently. One of the interesting things that may be part of the calculus is there's an expectation even already that a year from now, Jay Powell will not be in this job, and maybe you'll have a Fed chair that's going to start lowering interest rates. And if that's the case, maybe that's offsetting whatever anxiety there would be. But then you'd probably have even more anxiety about the dollar, frankly. So how do you reconcile all of that?
Well, it's surprising to me. I mean, obviously, the bond market's moved a month or so ago, and maybe they've already factored in that this bill was going to pass. I think that the longer-term issue is let's see what the jobs report say today. But you've got tariff policy that, in my view, is slowing the economy, and we're going to see perhaps in this jobs report or in Q3, combined with now massive deficit spending that's going to put pressure on our interest rates. And that's the concern, that you have a slowing economy and at the same time higher interest rates. But you know, obviously, I don't have a crystal ball in terms of what the bond market is going to do. I just think that we don't have smart economic policy right now.
Can you do you acknowledge that this bill, though, could improve the economy or help businesses, which will then improve the economy overall? I mean, permanent expensing, that's a very, that's very attractive and could be very good for businesses to spur investment in equipment as well as facilities. Making the tax cuts permanent, that is a very, that's key to stabilizing the outlook of the economy. I mean, there are offsets here, Congressman, to this, aren't there, in terms of, your concerns about the deficit? It could ignite some growth here.
Well, are there aspects of the bill in isolation that I could support? Things like the no tax on tips, things like the making child tax credit permanent, no tax on overtime. Absolutely. But overall, the bill is skewed to people who are extremely wealthy. About 60% of the benefits are going to go to people over $220,000 $20,000. This is not the kind of bill you would pass if you wanted to have more consumer spending. You would do what Josh Hawley was saying, double the child tax credit. You would skew most of the tax credits and tax breaks to the working and middle class. And we saw with the previous Trump tax bill that it didn't lead to higher investment, that it was basically distributionally skewed towards the wealthy, and it didn't lead to more manufacturing or domestic investment. And there's no reason to think that this is going to lead to that kind of productive investment now.